The next year is likely going to be an increasingly volatile time for retirees, savers, and investors. We're seeing this stock market bubble, a real estate bubble, a bond super bubble. So it's really, at this point, it's an everything bubble. And that means that most investments you own today are likely overvalued and high risk. So following conventional advice really is a recipe for becoming financial roadkill. And the average person could see their nest egg decimated as financial wealth evaporates over the next few years. You could be risking everything that you've invested in, including your savings and your retirement, which means you could look at a very different life from what you had planned. And that's why you have to decide, basically right now, how you're going to play those cards. So today on Renegade News, we're discussing 4 strategies to help you navigate through this system until it all comes crashing down. Welcome back to Renegade News. I'm your host, Glenn Kowalski. Every week on this channel, we discuss the latest news and strategies for breaking free from the system, paying less tax, and living anywhere in the world that you want. So let's just jump right into it. If you want to survive the crash that all of us here are quite sure is coming, there are 4 strategies that you better start implementing right now before it all comes crashing down. The first strategy is increasing your income. And you need to increase your income if you're going to escape government slavery that's coming down the pipe. Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant shows that if you're an employee, you have a job. And even if you're in the self-employed quadrant, that kind of means that you own your own job and you're working for yourself. And it's really possible, even in these quadrants, to increase your income, but it does mean either increasing your hours, increasing the time you spend on the job, or getting another job in addition to the job you have. Those are the ways that you increase your income if you're in the job or even in the self-employed quadrant. It's important to think about, though, this is the side of the quadrant that the government really wants you to stay on, because this is the quadrant that they can tax you the biggest in. To get to the other side of these quadrants, you need to have a system in place and you have to have people working for you. And when you start moving into the investment quadrant, you're actually having money working for you. And you also have other benefits they're going to talk about later in your taxes. So one of the ways to get into this quadrant, first of all, is to start up your own home-based business. And there's a bunch of benefits to having a home-based business. Like, it means that it's the easiest way to make money quickly and gain wealth because you don't have any of the brick and mortar overhead that you have from other businesses. When you're working from home, you can have an international internet business. And this is where a lot of people are really making money right now. It's a super hot market to get into. And when you're operating internationally, there are now no boundaries. You can have the same product or service that you're selling online on a website, on Amazon or eBay, and people are making money in their sleep. You can also use things like free trade zones, like in Panama or in Hong Kong, where you buy products for little or next to nothing, and then you sell them again and make a profit. Also, home-based businesses are portable, so you can do business anywhere in the world and nobody knows where you are. And that's one of the best strategies out there for making more money. And we talk a lot about that in our videos. A great portable business does not require any specialized knowledge to get started. And that should really get you excited about life, and it should be fun to do. Your business should have the potential to bring you financial freedom if your goal is financial freedom, which it should be. And your business should also be unique enough to stand out from the crowd. The next strategy, now that you're actually making money, is to stick it to the IRS. Because when you start making this money, you don't want to just give it away. And so as you make that money, don't wear it on your back and don't drive it. Put that money back into your business, but also make sure you're doing the things that make sure the IRS does not get the money. For instance, home-based business deductions. In 2018, Trump announced an extra 20% business deduction for small businesses. And when you work from home, this is something you can take advantage of. The Internal Revenue Code section 162 says that you can deduct all ordinary and necessary business expenses. This is true in the US and in Canada. So deduct everything by making it a business expense. Schedule C in the individual tax return is where you deduct the following expenses. Things like advertising expenses, car and truck expenses, contract labor, depreciation, legal and professional services. You can also just deduct your office supply and even your travel, your meals, and your entertainment. The next strategy after you've reduced your taxes is to increase your wealth. And you have to create wealth with the money you've earned and that you've saved and kept away from the IRS. To create this wealth, you need to have short-term savings. You need to have long-term savings. You need investment savings. You need to have savings just for the things that you need immediately. Investing is where you make money that's for keeps. And if you want to live a thriving life, you have to start investing and putting money where it can make money. Putting money aside that's not going to be touched, and it's going to be there for the future, and even beyond the future with generational wealth for your children. And that requires that you start getting hard assets. Wealthy people buy assets. Those assets grow based on a formula for compound interest, and they become wealthier. And at that point, their time is their own, and they can use it to see fit. That's what we like to call FU money, where you have enough wealth put aside that you can do the things that you want to do. And that allows you to become more powerful and more influential if that's what you want. And you can teach your children how to make money work for them instead of just making money to survive like so many of us have. This is real freedom. Wealth is measured by the number of days that you can survive without physically working or anyone else in your household physically working and still maintain or increase your standard of living. And financial freedom is the ability to do what you love, when you want, with whomever you want, with no concern for money. There's a couple of recommended investments that you can use in order to build up this FU money, this portfolio of investments and assets that actually make you money and grow. Gold and silver have been around for thousands of years. There's also things that are new like water desalination and cryptocurrency, which is super exciting, and even things like international real estate. Now, speaking of wealth creation, we've put together a new action plan that's guaranteed to get you started on the road to becoming a cryptocurrency expert. And cryptocurrency is the wealth building opportunity of our lifetime. This step-by-step program will take you by the hand and guide you to buying, holding, trading, working with, and selling your Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in just a few minutes. You can get more details and more information by clicking on the link in the first pinned comment. The next and the final fourth strategy for today is giving yourself asset protection. That's so important because wealthy people stay wealthy because they put things in place to make sure that they stay wealthy. So for example, people put land into an entity like a trust or into an LLC to ensure that that land can't be taken out of the family. A private interest foundation is made to hold assets, deal with assets, protect assets, and to transfer them and those benefits to your future generations. You also have to start to question authority and question everything that you're hearing. Question your lawyers, question your CPAs. Don't get into a routine of doing the same old thing all the time, but instead start taking some simple steps to prepare yourself to look into what's available for asset protection and be prepared to take those steps. Things like, for example, an LLC. That's a really easy one that tons of people are doing, and it makes so much sense because it has a name and everybody knows about that LLC name, but the LLC itself might not own anything. That makes it impervious because nobody wants to come after it. You know, if somebody tries to sue you and that little LLC company you're running, they're going to realize quickly that it has no assets. And having your assets spread out between these LLCs makes sure that no one entity getting sued or getting confiscated or getting hit in any financial way can wipe out your entire net worth. Everything is too isolated. Most wealthy, smart people don't purchase even their real estate in their own name because, once again, if you get sued personally, they can take that asset away from you. However, if you set up a proper LLC or a proper trust in the right way or in the right jurisdiction, it lowers your chances of even getting sued because now anybody who would want to sue you knows that you don't have any assets to go after. There's a sure recipe for ensuring financial freedom. The first thing you have to do is eliminate debt. You have to reduce or eliminate your taxes. You have to reduce your major expenses like your mortgage. And you have to create wealth through domestic and international business assets and through proper structuring like we just talked about. You also have to increase your income to match your goals and sustain your commitment to personal growth. So tell me in the comments below, which strategies that I've talked about so far have you already implemented? Which ones are you putting in place now? What are you doing to increase your wealth? What are you doing to increase your income? What are you doing to reduce your taxes so that you have more money to invest to buy hard assets with? Which ones are you starting on now? Because if you don't start on these strategies, there really could be some rocky roads ahead and some really rocky times in the future. And don't forget to check out the video you see on the screen right now for more information on Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, tax reduction, places to live, places to set up an international business, and so much more to find more freedom in this unfree world. My name is Glenn Kowalski from Renegade News, and I'm going to see you over there.